The palace of Serration Prime gleamed like a shot of moonlight over the city below. Its tower spiraled upward, carved from living crystal that pulsed with soft blue light. For centuries, it had been the seat of the vile Dominion, a race of elegant, winged aliens whose veins carried shimmering silver blood, and whose pride was as legendary as their dragons. Humans were the newest addition to this empire, conquered but useful. They served as engineers, artisans, and sometimes servants. And in the lower wings of the palace, among the perfumed halls and gilded corridors, worked a young human maid named Lyra Dane. She was quiet, careful, and invisible, exactly what a servant needed to survive in a place where one mistake could mean exile, or worse. Part 1. The Dragon of the Prince. The Crown Prince, Caelfer Varel, was unlike his cold, regal kin. He was known for his temper and his dragon, Vraxen, a creature said to have been born from starlight and flame. The dragon lived within the royal atrium, chained to a crystal dais, its scales black with an iridescent sheen that rippled like oil under sunlight. Its eyes burned gold, intelligent and ancient. Lyra's job was to tend the atrium gardens, an assignment few dared accept. The dragon had a history of violence, and several servants had vanished while working near it. But Lyra needed the pay to support her family in the lower city. Each morning, she would water the glowing vine lilies and whisper quietly to herself, trying not to look at the creature. Yet she always felt its gaze following her. One day, as she worked near the dragon's dais, her hand slipped. A watering flask clattered across the floor, and the sound echoed sharply in the still air. The dragon stirred. Its head turned slowly toward her. Lyra froze. Vraxen's golden eyes narrowed, and it exhaled, sending a warm, smoky gust across her face. Its chains rattled softly. "I'm sorry," Lyra whispered. "I didn't mean to." The dragon's nostrils flared. Then, in a blur of movement faster than her eyes could track, it lunged. Its fangs grazed her wrist before the chain yanked it back. She fell, gasping, clutching her arm. Guards rushed in, shouting, weapons drawn. The dragon growled but did not move again. When the prince arrived moments later, his expression was unreadable. His armor shimmered with liquid light, and his wings folded neatly behind him. "What happened?" Caelfer demanded. "She startled the beast, my lord," a guard said. "The dragon bit her." Caelfer's eyes flicked to Lyra. "A human." She bowed her head. "It was my fault, your grace." The prince's gaze lingered on her bleeding wrist, where faint silver sparks now glimmered beneath the skin. "Take her to the healers," he ordered, "and do not harm the dragon." The guards hesitated, confused by the leniency, but obeyed. As Lyra was led away, she glanced back once. The dragon watched her go, its eyes glowing brighter than before. Part 2. The Awakening. Lyra awoke that night in the infirmary, drenched in sweat. Her wrist burned with an unearthly heat. She tore away the bandage and gasped. Where the dragon's fangs had pierced her skin, faint lines of glowing gold traced up her veins like liquid fire. Her heartbeat thundered in her ears. She stumbled to the mirror. Her pupils had changed, slitted like a reptile's. Panic seized her. She pulled on her cloak and slipped from the infirmary, her footsteps echoing through the empty halls. The palace seemed to hum as she passed, the crystals in the walls flickering in response to her presence. When she reached the atrium, the dragon was waiting. Its head lowered as she approached. "You," she whispered, "what did you do to me?" Vraxen's eyes gleamed. Then, impossibly, she heard a voice inside her head. "You carry my flame now." Lyra staggered back. "You can speak." "Not with words. Through blood." The bite awakened the bond. Her pulse raced. "Bond?" "The royal dragons of Vile bond only with the purest bloodlines," the voice rumbled. "But in you, I sense something older, something hidden. The flame recognized its kin." Lyra shook her head. I'm just a maid. You are more, and they will soon know it. Before she could speak, the sound of boots echoed behind her. Step away from the dragon. Prince Kael'thir stood in the archway, flanked by guards. His gaze flicked from her glowing eyes to the dragon behind her. What have you done? He demanded. I don't know. Lyra cried. It bit me, and now. Vraxen growled, and the torches along the walls flared. Kael'thir raised a hand. Stand down, Vraxen. The dragon hesitated, but did not obey. Instead, it lowered its head to Lyra's shoulder in a gesture of fealty. The guards gasped. No, Kael'thir whispered. That's impossible. He turned to his men. Leave us. When they were gone, he faced her again, his voice lower. The royal bond of the dragons can only form once in a generation, and only with royal blood. You are human. How did you? I told you. I don't know, she cried. I didn't want this. He stared at her for a long moment. Then, almost to himself, he murmured, The prophecy. Part 3. The Hidden Flame. Over the next few days, Lyra remained confined to a private wing of the palace under the prince's supervision. The burning in her veins subsided, but the glow remained. She could hear the dragon's voice no matter how far away it was, and sometimes she could even feel Kael'thir's thoughts brush faintly against her own. The prince visited often, his curiosity warring with caution. You are changing, he said one night, watching his faint scale shimmer at her throat before fading. I can't control it, she replied softly. Every time I feel angry or afraid, it grows stronger. He nodded. Vraxen's fire is alive. It reshapes what it touches. You are becoming something new. Lyra's hands trembled. Will I die? Perhaps. Or perhaps you will ascend. Ascend? Kael'thir met her eyes. Long ago, before the Dominion, legend spoke of the Flame-born, mortals chosen by dragons to carry their essence. It was said one would rise when the bloodlines of Vael grew corrupt. He turned away, his wings flickering with faint light. If the court learns of this, they will see you as a threat. They will destroy you and my dragon for what you represent. Lyra felt fear knot her stomach. Then what do we do? He looked back at her. We run. Part 4. The Flight from the Palace. They fled before dawn. The palace alarms blared as Kael'thir led her through hidden tunnels beneath the citadel. Vraxen tore through the barriers above, its wings blotting out the morning sun. Guards poured into the courtyard, shouting, The prince is betraying the crown. Stop them. Kael'thir's eyes flashed. Hold on, he told her. He grasped her hand, and together they leaped onto the dragon's back. Vraxen roared, and the world exploded into motion. They soared over the burning spires of Serration Prime as plasma bolts streaked the sky. The city below trembled under the force of anti-air cannons. But the dragon twisted through them effortlessly, a blur of starlight and flame. When they finally broke through the upper atmosphere, silence fell. The stars stretched endless above them, cold and clear. Lyra clung to Kael'thir, her heart pounding. Where are we going? To the Wormspine, he said, where the first dragons were born. If the prophecy is true, the answers are there. Below them, the planet burned. The Dominion had declared them traitors. And somewhere deep in Lyra's chest, the fire pulsed stronger than ever, alive, ancient, waiting.